Flux2 Klein can do some magic if you need it. Look, easy as that, although it's a little cold. Oh, that's much better.
Well, hello everyone. That little segment was basically created with Flux2 Klein 4B or 9B and just LTX video. And let me show you how you do it. But before I do that, I would like to thank each and every one person who joined my Discord channel. And I'm gonna put like a little tiny gift into the Discord because you guys are joined. And if you want the gift, you can also join the Discord. I would like to thank for every person who subscribed to my YouTube channel because, oh my God, there's so many of us now. It's amazing. And I'm looking forward to making more videos for you guys. I created a Patreon. You don't need to join. I just thought that if someone would like to support what I do, I'll make Patreon for that. Just like an extra support type of thing. For now, I just created a free Patreon and I put like a tier there if someone wants to support me. That's just purely for support. If you don't feel like it, if you don't have the money, please don't do it. And as I said, everything else is just as much available as before. And as I have said, I'm gonna create that tiny little gift for the Discord and put it out there. Okay, so the first thing is this. This is a prompt creator. Inside there is a chat box where I put instructions in. You can choose to just change the instructions if you want. You can even remove them and write your own instructions. It's your choice. But as a gift for all the people who joined my Discord, and I guess if you're a subscriber of my YouTube channel, you know, I'm putting this in the Discord and you can just download it from there. I'm gonna link the model that I use in this one, but there is multiple models that you can choose in there and it's just gonna be downloaded automatically. The model that I'm using is going to have to be downloaded separately because this model is more capable of more things, because you all have seen CivitAi, and I'm pretty sure that some of you guys want to do prompts for science, right? So this is yours. And the way it works is very easy. All the instructions are inside, and in the Discord, I'm going to have like a tiny little short video on how to use this and how to download the stuff for it. Now, the next thing is the workflow itself, Flux2 Klein. This workflow is very interesting. Let me just explain. This part is where you can control the groups. You can turn on and off the groups. Why would you need that? Well, the way that this thing comes, the workflow, the basic workflow, is like you can create multiple frames and references, and then you can just multiply these parts of the workflow up to like 10, as far as I know. You don't need to do that. You can even avoid this part and you can just generate one image from one point of the workflow. These two images are literally connected to both of these parts. It means in this one, if you put in a different description, then it's going to create a different image. And if you put in, I don't know, different seeds or different samplers, different steps, it's gonna create a different image. So it's kind of cool for that. Like you can even create two different type of images and you can decide which one is better. For me, for now, this is just turned on for one thing. And this is not even for image to image at this moment because I turned these off as well. Because when you have this workflow, you can turn off the images and it's going to create text to image, because in this state, this is just text to image. And if I turn this one on, now it's image to image, but with a reference. So on this image, I can give it a detail from this image and it will put it over here. However, and this is very important, I have noticed and I have seen it on other people's workflows as well, that Flux2 Klein, or I guess maybe even Flux2 as well, I'm not sure, but Flux2 Klein tends to change the face very much. So for example, my model here in the first image is going to kind of look like herself and Leia kind of mixed together. Let me just show you. See? Now, if you don't mind that the likeness changes, or the likeness kind of inherits the features of the second image, I guess this would be fine for you. However, don't worry, I actually created a workflow where the likeness stays and the image doesn't turn into a mixture of the two subjects. When you work with one image, I guess that's fine. You can probably change things. I'm gonna make a workflow for that, but that's like a whole other video, I guess. This is a problem for me, for example. If I wanna use something from one image and if I change the first image, then the whole process is useless. It's not really editing, it's completely changing everything on the first image. So for that, I actually created that other workflow. But for now, let's talk about, you know, this one, because basically this is very much usable still. It's just kind of a little bit problematic. So this workflow, this part of the workflow, these things are very important. These are kind of rescaling your image, but I think these are the wrong ones because they do say megapixels and ratio 1, so they shouldn't upscale or downscale your image. But when it goes into this model, you can see the actual size that's going to create. When they are on 1, you could see that size, but if you put it up to 1.98, it's almost going to be the exact same size as your original. I think it's about the same for any kind of image that you upload here, any of the other sizes. It's just going to be a number that changes. If you run this through, it's still the same deal. Like it's like basically mixing the two faces together. It will follow what you want to do, but it's not going to be perfect. And also the end result is also weird because it's not the same size as you would see over there. So it's really, really strange. For this, I created a clone from this thing and you can actually set your own size, but make sure that you just keep this on 1 because it's going to do some weird stuff if you don't. So keep this thing on 1 and just change the sizes over here on the empty latent node. And if you want to follow this part of the whole thing, just make sure that you connect this back. This is also really good if you want to turn off the image to image, because I'll show you what happens if I turn off the image to image. If you turn off the image to image and if you forget to connect this empty latent because you want your own size, this latent is gonna give it like a weird result because it's going to default back to 1024 by 1024. Even though it shouldn't have that number, it's just gonna default back to this. See? It's just gonna create this image. It's fine because obviously Flux is trained on this size. So I think it just defaults back to that. But if you want your own size, you can have any, like literally whatever you set this to, it's just gonna do it. See, it's like really fast as well on higher end GPUs, I guess. It does follow the prompt that you put in here, but because there is no reference images anymore, it's just gonna do the best what it can with what information it has. So this is your basic workflow. And oh, by the way, there's like a turbo LoRa here, and you can add LoRa's. You can just make more LoRa loader and just add more LoRa's. And what's really important and really cool, both 9 and 4B are using the same VAE, so you never have to change this. It doesn't matter. And you can actually interchange, this is like interchangeable, like you can change this to 9B if you want to use 9B. Right now we were using 4B, so you could see what 4B can do and what kind of speed can you expect from 4B. They are really, really fast. There are like a chart on what kind of video cards people were testing this and how long is an iteration per second. For me, I have a 5090. Let's put this thing on full HD and let's see how long is 1 second. How long is one iteration per second? I think it's gonna be like I don't know, like 2 seconds per iteration maybe. I was wrong. that was 3.1 seconds. So technically it was less than a second per iteration. That's crazy. Well, anyways, this is the text to image, right? This is not image to image. If you turn on the image to image function, it's gonna be a little bit longer. That's when it's gonna turn into like 2 seconds. Also, you can see that I'm still using this latent. By the way, you saw like it was a little bit longer. So I'm still using this latent, which is fine in this case because I have this number on 1. If you change this number, it's gonna create some weird stuff. So just keep this number on 1 and use the empty latent and change the size if you want. Or connect this thing back up here and then you can change these numbers if you want. Now, let's go to the cool part, which probably everybody waits, because why would we want to continuously change the phase when we would have to come back and change the phase back? And that's just like a whole problem. The way I did the first section of the tiny little videos was with this, an in-paint method for the whole Flux2 workflow. By the way, you see that I already masked this part out. So when you do that, it's understandable. I hope you all know, but if you don't know, you right click on the image, open in mask editor, and then you just mask it. Left click is masking, right click is removing the mask. And then after you apply the mask to wherever or whatever area you want it to put the mask in, and then you can just do the rest of the things. This is the original image of the subject that you have, like the girl that I had, and this is the background that I wanted to put her on. But this part is in the workflow is super important. There's like some numbers here that you can change if you want, but these numbers are really precisely set for most images, like Full HD or less than Full HD. The second image doesn't necessarily have to be Full HD. You can, or even the first image. It doesn't really matter. You can change the images, but what you really need to remember is if you do that, then if you have this part fixed on the same seed, you're gonna go insane, because sometimes it's not going to create the best size for the image. So if I run this through, you can see that it's actually putting her really, really well onto that beach, and the whole image fits, and she fits the whole scene, and everything is going to be great. What sometimes happens if you want to change small details, like you want to change the clothing, or you want to have changed the hair, like what I showed you with the Leia picture. I'll show you that one as well if you want. So with those ones, you might have like some details that might be a little bit more difficult to adjust, because these things are fixed, but this shouldn't be fixed. They should be on random, because you don't get the same results with each seed. But maybe after, like, sometimes it's like all the results are perfect, but sometimes it's gonna be like 1 or 2 results are gonna be kind of off, and the third result is gonna be good. Thankfully, this model is like super fast. You can do everything on 4 steps. Here down in the bottom, I added a background removal node. If you turn this on, obviously don't use backgrounds, because it's just gonna remove everything and you're gonna have the table and the cocktail here, nothing else. It's literally gonna obliterate everything from the image. So if you're adding a background behind the person, or behind like an object like a car or something, just make sure that you turn this off. If you want to add another person, then you would probably want to turn the background off, so the model can work with the best results possible. So in this version, I mean, it's the same thing. Everything is the same. All the numbers are the same, but, you know, different seed. And I had the seed fixed because I wanted to see what would be the most optimal setting in numbers. I think it's best if you use like larger images, because even if you use larger images, like I mean larger as like Full HD, if you use a Full HD image, you have to remember that we only work with this part of the image. It's just going to be like a square cut out from the image that the model is going to be working with. It's not going to do like a Full HD thing, because it only needs to change the part that we are masking. And bang, you have retained the original face, and you put Leia's hair on her, and almost good. The clothing or like you can work on the clothes. This prompt includes both the clothing and the hair itself. And we have worked with Klein 4B. Like, we didn't even use 9B. We just used Klein 4B, which is like super fast. And obviously we used the turbo LoRa as well. I don't really know if there is a difference between using the turbo laurel on 0.6 or full one. I don't know. And you can see like here in this one, I'm actually using the 4B VAE, but in the other one, when I use the 4B, I use the 9B VAE. So like the VAE is appear to be exactly the same. On this part of the image, I have this set to 1.5 because I am not using anything else other than its own width and sizes from this thing. So this goes into the image cropped improved node, and everything else is going to be worked on, and the same the image sizes are going to be corrected, match the size right here with this node, and then everything that comes out is going to be the same full HD, because this always based on your first image that you have, the example image, because it has to match the parts of the image that you're not masking out. So that's why the image size match is kind of important. It doesn't matter like what kind of size goes in here, it just works on that part, and then it brings out the part that you want, which is the full image, full size, same size, what you input in here. It works both with like vertical or horizontal images, it doesn't matter, and super accurate. But as I have said, sometimes it goes weird, so you have to turn this into random, and you have to let it work a little bit more, especially if you're using 4B. If you are using 9B, that tends to be a little bit more accurate, even if you're not prompting too much. Because I have noticed it in the regular workflow that 9B can actually copy stuff better than 4B. But I guess that's obvious because 4B is way smaller than 9B. So that's understandable why. But anyways, this would be the Flux Klein 2, Flux Klein 2 and 4B and 9B. And I hope I could help you how to use these things. Come to the Discord if you want the descriptor. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you would like more videos like this. It would assure me that I'm actually doing something right. And yeah, join Patreon, it's free. And if you would like to support me, that's one of the good ways that you can do. But honestly, if you just watch these videos, that's like already supporting me. So I am very thankful for that. And I appreciate you being here. And see you next time.